welcome to another episode of Ask a Dog Trainer. My name is Tanya Lim and I am a certified professional dog trainer, the founder of Family Pups based in Denver, Colorado, and this is Zippo, our dog. The question that I'm going to answer today is, how do I get my dog to stop barking at trash and delivery trucks? Before we jump into some strategies on how to help with this issue, let's examine what causes the barking behavior in the first place. In dog training, knowing the root cause and the motivation that drives the behavior can make a huge difference because it will affect the type of strategy that we create. That being said, our main goal is to work with our dog's motivation and instincts instead of trying to suppress them. Dogs often bark for a combination of reasons. First, these vehicles are large and noisy, which can startle or provoke a dog's natural instinct to alert to potential threats. Second, the unusual movement and sounds coming from these vehicles can be perceived as a disturbance, and this can cause the dog to react with barking. With deliveries, people often approach the front door and ring the doorbell, which can seem extra triggering to the dog. When the dog barks and the delivery person walks away, the barking behavior gets rewarded because it achieved its purpose, which is to chase the intruder away. To summarize, this type of barking is the result of a mix of territorial behavior, protective instincts, the unfamiliarity of the vehicles, reinforcement history, and sometimes boredom, to name a few. I suggest that you make a note of what you think is driving your dog's behavior so that you can more effectively create a training plan in order to help them. Let's look at some general strategies to give you some ideas. Strategy 1. Prevention. You might have heard me say this in some of our previous videos, but I can never stress this enough. A good training plan starts off with solid strategies in order to eliminate or prevent the rehearsal of the undesirable behaviors because, as we know, practice makes permanent. You can play ambient music in order to drown out the sounds coming from outside. You can blur your windows using film in order to prevent your dog from looking at the intruders. You can prevent your dog's access to the room facing your front door when you aren't there. You can leave a note asking delivery people not to ring the bell when they leave packages. As you might have guessed already, prevention is a huge part of this type of training plan because it can help us solve the problem all on its own. Now, let's look at some behavior change strategies. Strategy 2. Address the underlying emotional response through desensitization and counter conditioning. This means that we're doing our best to expose our dogs to their trigger at a level of intensity that doesn't cause them to bark. This may mean playing recorded sounds as you gradually increase the volume. Or maybe the dog is in another room as you allow them to experience those same sights and sounds but at lower intensity. This can help desensitize or get the dog used to the triggering sounds. When aiming to change an emotional response, we pair the trigger with something that the dog loves in order to elicit a more positive emotional response with that same trigger. For example, you may be playing the sounds of trucks in the background as you're feeding your dog some yummy treats while you toss them on the ground. Generally speaking, our goal is for the dog to be able to hear the trigger and look at you or search for something on the ground instead of choosing to bark. Strategy 3. Teaching what you want instead. Now that your dog is more used to the sound of trucks and has associated them with positive things, it's time to add our replacement behavior. These may vary, but the ones that I teach most of the time are calm, touch, go to bed, and stay with duration until released. Once the dog has performed those behaviors in the presence of their trigger, they're being rewarded with a super high value reward, such as the treats from Fig and Tyler. To summarize, it's important that you prevent your dog from rehearsing the undesirable barking behavior when you're not there and unable to train them. Then it's time to get them used to and create more positive associations with the sights and sounds of trash or delivery trucks. Last but not least, teach your dog what you want them to do instead. I hope you find this helpful, and Zippo and I wish you happy training.